Yeah, QSL, Rob. Yeah, well, I've been on like 3 or 4 hours, sort of on and off tonight. Nothing spectacular. I had a couple of contacts into Canada and America, but this isn't the location for DX with the setup I've got. But I do quite well from here. But I need to do what you do and get out in a portable location. But you are really strong. I've just sent you a short clip to WhatsApp, but I'm sort of recording a longer one here, and I can post this on YouTube later on, and you can just see how loud you are. But yeah, just the basic setup here, using 25 watts from the Clansman, and I'm just using that poxy little antenna that's on my fence. Rob, over.
Okay, very good, Maury. Well, it's not such a small antenna, and it does work very well, but I'm always impressed by the audio from the Clansman. Obviously, it's not FM BBC quality, but it's super clear,
Yeah.
and I was actually quite impressed with the receiver as well. So you've got to keep it there, mate. It's really good. I do like to see what's going on in your garage there. You got some pretty nice equipment, and I know you fully utilise it. But, well, going portable mobile, I think you do well enough with the Clansman sitting on top of that hill behind you. It's a pity you can't operate it remotely with a solar-powered charge at the top of the hill. So there's always an option there, Maury. But what I wanted to say was thank you so much for taking me in for a visit again this year. And it was really nice because it was a bit more relaxed, although the plumbers were coming and etc. But it really was a pleasure to have the opportunity to pop in and see you again. And I'm pretty sure we'll do it all again next year, Maury. Over.
Yeah, Mike 0 Kilo Papa Delta Mobile, Mike 0 India Hotel Kilo. Yeah, no problem, Rob. You're always welcome here, anytime. No problem. Yeah, the plumbers, that was a funny one because I'd been waiting for weeks and weeks to get the guy out to have a look at that soil pipe leak and put an admittance valve in there instead. And he just turned up out of the blue. He actually messaged me and I was too busy with you. And I didn't read the messages, so I didn't really know he was coming until my neighbour next door actually sent me a message. He actually called me when you were out having a fag. So, yeah, that was a bit unannounced. But, yeah, it's amazing how you go for weeks and weeks and no one bothers you. You get a visitor and then everyone turns up at your house. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, we had the same problem here with buses, of course. You wait for one and 20 turn up at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And talking about travels, we went to London today, and I'll tell you, there were no trains from our location into the centre of London today. We had to take a sudden detour to Croydon before we could get a short train into Victoria. Absolute pain in the neck. But we had a good day out in London today. We went to the Natural History Museum. We wandered around Piccadilly and Leicester Square. We had lunch there, and then we decided that it was all too much for us walking around in the heat and sweating with all the people. But it was fun, you know. We got home about 6 o'clock, and YL was a bit tired. She's not used to walking around all day. So she went to bed, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to go and play radio for a little while, and then I'll head off home and have a nice lay-in. So, yeah, it's been a nice surprise tonight, and I've uploaded the video to you now, and I'll have a look at your video in a minute when you're chatting. But, yeah, no worries about the plumber coming. It happens, and it was nice of him to come in on short notice and get it done, of course. I hope he had no other problems from the water, etc. And hopefully that'll all dry out and you won't be too worried about it there, Maury. But I'm wondering, I was thinking the other day about your garden there. I reckon you could get a nice tower next to the wall, and basically no one would see it, I think. And I don't think anyone would bother, Maury, but if you put yourself a little telescopic tower right at the back of the house that you could drop down below the roof line, I think you'd be okay, over.
Yeah, QSL, Rob. Yeah. Which wall are you talking about? I'm trying to work out which wall you're on about there. Are you on about the house itself or just further down? I mean, I don't have a big garden, but the guy over the back, what a mess his garden is. He just doesn't weed it and stuff, and the weeds come through my fence. It's starting to sort of piss me off a little bit, but he doesn't keep that well these days, so I'm letting him off with that one. But I've not done anything with the bottom. I was going to put gravel down there and stuff and tidy it up, but I guess I could put a mast attached to the garage, but it's single brick or something like that. Is that what you mean, Rob? Over?
No, I reckon at the back of the house, outside the patio door, between the window and the patio, you could put a telescopic mast fixed to the house there that you could just drop it down to 15 foot, which you could reach with a ladder, and then you could put it right up to about 55 feet. I don't know. I think even on the garage you'd be able to put a mast even there, which would probably work out better for you, over.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting one of those, you know, the tenor mast, because they're in Beath in Ayrshire, where I am, so they're not far away. I know they do a few decent tenor masts, and you can put a decent antenna on them. Not, you know, nothing massive, but you could quite easily put a 20 meter 4 or 5 element beam on that, or even a hex beam over.
Yeah, Roger. I don't think you could go wrong with a hex beam there. The only problem that you have, of course, is if you were to walk at the top of the hill behind your house, you would probably gain more advantage from the Clansman on the standard width than you would with a hex beam, because obviously you can create more height. But that being said, I think with the takeoff angle at about 15 degrees, you're going to miss that hill anyway, and a hex beam would be a good option for you, Mario.
Yeah, M0 Kilo Papa Delta Mobile, Mike 0 India Hotel Kilo. Yeah, that's a good point. I've never thought about that. I've always talked about moving out of this place, and I need to make a decision. I was talking to my wife about it today, and I don't know if we should move or not, but I need to think about that first before I start putting anything more permanent down. But it amazes me how well I get out with that simple antenna, that half-wave infed that I made, and it does work well. I mean, I get into Brazil and stuff, but I don't get the long DX to Australia or New Zealand. I think the furthest I've had from here was Indonesia, ferry, and there was only a couple of times I really got him really strong. You know, he's normally quite weak here, even when everyone else is getting him quite well. I think it's just the vertical antenna and my location, over.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really do notice, Maury, that your location in Scotland is a very, very different propagation window to mine in the south here, and obviously the VKs come through further better in the morning for me, and even on the short path it can be quite a surprise. But that being said, you know, I worked from the island when I was there, and not terrifically strong, but still readable. But don't forget, Maury, you're on a vertical in an enclosed area, so a lot of dissipation of your signal on the house behind and your own house in front. So, you know, I think you did pretty well from there, and right now you're just booming through, and we've had this condition before. I don't think it was on 20 though, I think it was on 40, but
no, it was 20.
Either way, it's just working very, very well. Absolutely wonderful. And well, don't move too far north, because you'll have to let me know where you are, because I'll have to allow a few more hours to pop in if you go any further north there, Mario.
No, I won't be moving out of Ayrshire. If I do move, it'll be here. So you'll still be able to visit me before you get the ferry to Arran, that's for sure, Rob, over.
Okay, Maury, excellent. Well, I count on it, of course. I was interested, actually, as I mentioned before, that I popped into Blackpool on the way. I mean, it's only a short detour, about half an hour to the beach there, and I'd actually been there before. Met Charlie, one of the group, and a couple of the others from Ireland at a hamfest there. And I remembered it well, and I think that's where G4XAC, the pedestrian mobile, goes. It's a shame it was raining and I didn't get to see him. And I was hoping that Dave in Australia was going to pick him up that day. But he said himself that if it was raining that Dave would not be out there. So I didn't really get a chance to catch him. And on the way back, I decided not to go to Blackpool, just based on the traffic and time of day, of course. But either way, a quick update on the island. We had some very, very changeable weather. I know you're just across the bay there, so you would have had the same thing. But on the Friday night, we had some heavy wind and rain. And what I do with my van, I obviously sleep in the van, camping style. And I open the back doors and I put a tarpaulin on that surrounds the back of the door so I can have my cooking area and stuff like that. And I was laying there in the night rocking and rolling around and it was really chucking it down. And I thought, well, I can't hear the tarpaulin, it's very quiet even in the wind.
It was gone.
So I turned the torch on and I had a look. And literally the tarpaulin was full of water. It was literally like a bath, and I was thinking to myself in the morning I'd make everyone jealous because my camping station has its own jacuzzi high. But I actually got the water out before it literally burst the top of the tarpaulin and made everything wet. But apart from that, the weekend was good. We had some good contacts. We did quite well with the amount of contacts. But we did have a few near-field interaction with each antenna, which caused a few issues. But, you know, what is it? Whatever you do, there's always something, you know. And I think we overcame most of the problems. A few technical hitches with the tuner and another amplifier, and some dodgy patch leads and things like that. But, well, you know how it is, Maury. You get all set up, you head off up the hill, and then you realise you've forgotten the battery or something. You know, it's always going to be something that catches you out. But either way, it was just wonderful to get up there to not only see you, it was chatting with Sid and the guys on Interg on the way up on 40, and we did the same thing on the way home, but I didn't hear as much on the way home, I must say. And the further south I went, of course, I started to hear you guys coming through, but I couldn't hear any Scottish stations all the way down to Birmingham, and that was it, you know. So I was picking up the mid-England and a couple of stations in Europe. But it was fun, Maury. It made the time go quicker, and it was really good, over.